What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to take a look at some of the biggest games coming out in July that I at least am going to be paying attention to. July is a month of seemingly unknown. There's games that I'm interested in, but really a lot of them could go either way. So it's definitely a different month than what we've had in the past. And some of these I think are just going to go very much under the radar to most people. So let's kind of rifle through them. There's not too many of them. July is an overall dead month. It's probably the most dead month of the entire year. But we start off on July 5th with Yuri Kill, the Culmination Games. Now, I think by the time this video goes up, I actually did a review on this game. I won't talk about it too much here because they did provide me the code, but this is a good one. I can tell you that going into it. It's definitely not going to be a game for everybody. It's definitely a game that only is going to, if you're in that Danganronpa-like group, but this is definitely a game that I think you could be interested in if you do like Danganronpa. It's an overall solid game, July 5th. July 8th is a game called Madison. I remember seeing this game, and when I went on the Wikipedia for 2022 in gaming, I saw Madison. I was like, oh man, that game actually comes out July 8th. Weird date for a horror game. You would imagine, horror games really should come out as close to Halloween as possible, and I think it really would work out for them really well if they did it. Madison looks interesting. I mean, I like horror, and yet I hate horror. I mean, I hate being scared. This game looks like a PT/amnesia/ maybe like Layers of Fear. I think it's like a psychological horror game. These ones honestly can go either way. Like sometimes there's these games that come out that do really, really well and like shock people that, oh, okay, these games are actually really good. And then sometimes they come out and they're just mediocre. There's maybe one or two like good defining qualities about them. That's how I've normally looked at these kind of more indie horror games. But this one does look solid. Again, I remember seeing this game. There was a trailer, I think maybe last Gamescom, and I remember seeing it, and then finally, I was like, oh wow, July 8th, odd time for a game like this to come out, but it is what it is. July 19th is probably the busiest day of July. Maybe there's another day that can give it a run for its money, but it's one of the busiest days, and it has As Dusk Falls and Stray. Both of these games I'm very much anticipating for kind of different reasons. As Dusk Falls really is carried by it being on Game Pass and carried by it being like an interactive story. The visuals are very hit and miss. They don't exactly hit with me, but again, it's on Game Pass. There's not really any barrier of entry, and it could be a good one. Whenever you have these kind of games, choose your own adventure. They may be a hit, and I think as long as the story and characters are solid, this game could actually be pretty darn good. And then Stray, I will be honest, Stray is the one of the two that I'm looking forward to more. You get to play as a cat. I mean, there's not, with Stray, it really is not all that difficult. I actually haven't seen all that much stuff on Stray. I know they actually haven't even shown too much on Stray. I don't think it's really a game that you need to see, like an hour and a half of gameplay before you jump in the game. You either get it or you don't. This one also, in a way, is on a subscription service. It's on the middle tier, PlayStation Plus Extra. Not premium, but not just the normal PlayStation Plus. You have to pay that in the US. It's $100 a year. Then you get Stray for free. So you kind of get this game for free if you have the middle or the highest tier version of PS Plus. So again, maybe not that bad. Maybe there is no barrier of entry for Stray for a lot of people. I think that'll help both. As Dusk Falls and Stray should be helped by the subscription services they are technically on. Then, in my opinion, you move all the way down to the second busiest day in July, or maybe the busiest, depending on how these go. Digimon Survive and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 both come out on July 29th. So yes, that is a very busy day. Now, it's only a busy day, I think, for select people. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is a game I want to get. It's hard for me to talk about this game because I haven't played the first two. I actually tried to watch like a story explained, and maybe I just watched like really different and weird guys explain the story to me, but the story comes off as like more complicated than Kingdom Hearts. And if a story is more complicated than Kingdom Hearts, either I'm not like getting it, or it's not being explained right, or the game is just like wacky, right? So, I mean, I get it. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 has a huge audience. I think it's going to be a huge game for the Switch, and it's going to sell. It absolutely will sell. And I am moderately interested. I think I'll wait for reviews. Maybe I really do need to, I think, catch up on the story of 1 and 2 before I even attempt to go into this. There's really no hope for me if I jump into this day one, without going back. And then for Digimon Survive, this one's tough. Digimon, it's not as popular for like my life as Pokemon, but I do remember Digimon growing up. I did like it to a fair degree, and I always say this. I played one Digimon game back when I was a kid, when I was like 8 or 9 years old. I loved it, but I was so bad at it, I was so frustrated at it, that I literally didn't make it past like the open, whatever you even did in the opening. Like, I remember it to a degree, but at the same time I don't. I just remember liking it, but just thinking it was way too difficult, and I never went in. Digimon Survive doesn't exactly seem like the Digimon game for everybody, right? In the way that the story is being told, the way that the game, like, I don't even know what kind of genre they're technically putting it in, but it's not exactly a Digimon game that I would jump into immediately. This one, again, too, I mean, it's been delayed. There's been so many problems, seemingly, with this game in terms of how long it's taken to get here. This is another one. Like, I'm going to wait. If it, and I don't go really based off review scores all that much, but I mean, if this game gets like a 2 out of 10, then if it gets like a 5, 6, or 7, right, like a middle of the road thing, maybe, because then of course it's like a coin flip if people actually like it, or if I even trust gaming journalists, right? So it's going to be more on feel for me. Maybe I'll watch somebody else play, or maybe play like the opening hour, and if I like the opening hour, then maybe I'll play it. Again, the thing that I think helps these two games is it comes out in just like a barren wasteland, right? Same thing for Stray, and really any game in July. There's not a lot. There's really not a lot. And like I said in the beginning of this video, these games are, they could be good, and they could kind of be like hidden gems, but besides like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, honestly, I don't really think any of these are going to be hugely remembered at the end of the year. Maybe Stray, maybe As Dusk Falls, maybe Digimon if it surprises, but I really just don't know how much these games are going to make an impact, but that works against them. It also works for them because these are the only things you got in July. So maybe pick a couple of them. Some of them are cheap, right? Like Stray and As Dusk Falls is $30. I know Yuri Kill is $50. So there's not even all of these games are full price games. So we'll see how July goes. But let me know if I missed any, because there are other games. I didn't just list off the only games. These are the ones that stood out to me. So if there's any other games that are coming out in July that maybe you think I would like or that you're interested in, definitely let me know in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up, and I hope to see you all on tomorrow's video.